everybody, and welcome back to the Abundant and Aligned podcast. Chloe, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you on today. Guys, you're in for a treat with Chloe. This is going to be the pep talk that you all need, but also a bit of a vulnerable chat. We had a very brief discussion about what this conversation could look like, and I'm excited for it. So, Chloe, you're an RVP with Arbonne, which is the top 2%, which is incredible. I know you are on your way to the top of your company, which is the top 1%, which is wild. And you are most certainly a leading voice in the network marketing industry as a whole. You speak on stages and you are an embodiment that you can quite literally have anything you want in this lifetime if you work your little butt off for it. So I would love for you to very briefly tell us what's gone into having a business that puts you in the top 2% of a company. It can be anything, mindset, strategy, habits, but if you could just put it down to one or two things, what would that be? And I put you on the spot. You're like, cool, thanks, Jess.
Well, if I had to put it down to one or two things, I would definitely say gritty. And I feel like resilience falls into the same category, but a lot of the time, even outside of business, when things are challenging or when they make us feel uncomfortable, our like instinct is to run away and like go back to what feels normal and familiar and comfortable. But you can't do that in business, regardless of whether it's network marketing or another. But because like we feel overwhelmed or we feel stressed or we feel anxious or we are scared of judgment or whatever, we instantly go into our shell. Whereas I was forced to not have a shell, essentially. When I started, do you want me to go into my background?
Mm-hmm.
When I started 3 years ago, it's literally been 3 years this month, I kind of didn't have anything to lose. I was already going through a quarter life crisis. I was in a career that just was not aligned, so toxic, and I had just ended a really long-term on and off again relationship, and I didn't know who I was anymore. So what was the worst case scenario? That I tried and I went back to living the same life. You know, so everything that came up along the way, it couldn't have got worse than where I started. So everything that happened on the way, I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, this is what it is. But that's not to say there wasn't a lot of challenges and a lot of inner work that had to go into it.
I remember you said recently you were going through something with your network marketing team and they were just having a bad day. And you were saying, we experience emotions as humans, but you can't let that knock you off course. You can't let every bad day be the reason you put your business on hold. And I think that is such a good place to start, because while I'm never sitting here saying you should ignore your emotions and you should just push through pain if it's actual pain, whether it's an actual sickness or you just need a moment, we're big on the flow around here. But I love that you said at the end of the day, your excuses cannot be greater than your desire to create the life that you truly want. So I'd love for you to riff on that, because you've just shared there have been challenges in your journey to get here, but you've pushed through them regardless, and you've ended up in the top 2% of the company. So talk to us about those days when they come up and what goes through your mind to just pick yourself back up and just keep on going, because you're here to create the life that you want.
I think I was really blessed with a very tough love mentor. She was never one to do a pity party. She said, we do not do pity parties. 5 minutes is all you get if you're having a bad day. And then because what do you gain by sitting in that emotion? Like, what do you gain by ranting to somebody, especially when you haven't asked permission? You know, what do you gain from jumping on social media and crying about the work you need to do to get to where you want to be? Like, now I don't understand it. And even when I started, I can safely say I didn't understand people who took a break from their businesses when...
Yeah, it's just the birds. Cool. Chloe's like getting used to the sounds in my house, and every little sound she's like, Jess, someone's here. And I'm like, no, it's just the birds on the tin roof. Don't worry. He was so concerned. And also the show goes on, remember? Even if we do have a robber in the house right now, we keep going.
I'm like, I'm no help in that situation. I'm running the other way. No, but I'm not saying, like, you don't gain anything from it. And so anytime I would have like a bad day at work or somebody would start a business and then go into witness protection. I was just like, it is what it is, and like I can't live my life ruled by emotion. And I do think as women we're extra emotional, and that's not a bad thing. I just think it doesn't really have a place in business. I think it has a place in, let me rephrase that, actually it doesn't have a place in activity. I think it has a place in like when you're crafting your business and what you want to look like and how you want it to feel and who you want to be. But I don't think in the day-to-day activity it does. You may disagree, but I just don't think you can run your business like that, because you'll never move forward, especially at the pace that you want to maybe the capacity that you want to. Like for me, wanting to go to the top 1% of not just my company but the industry, I couldn't sit there and go, I've got my period, I don't feel like it today, I'll put it off to tomorrow, and then next week, and then next month. And that's what people do. And I have often women come into my business who are moms, who are working multiple jobs, who are going through all sorts of stuff that I've never been through. And you have to be like, okay, yes, this is happening, but I can't really control this. All I can control is what I do with what I have right now. And I even say to them, I'm like, okay, look at your list. Like, what is like the one thing you can do to show up for yourself today? Because you'll feel so much better if you just do something.
It's creating that trust within yourself that you follow through on what you say you're going to do in any capacity. As you've mentioned, yes, maybe you have woken up and you have your day one of your period and you're tired and you can't be bothered, but just do one thing to show yourself that you can follow through with yourself. And building that self-trust is the most powerful thing you can have within yourself as a woman in business, because it's that driving force that you will get shit done no matter what.
You build no conviction and no confidence by continuing to break promises to yourself. And what will happen is you'll do the one thing and you'll be like, oh, well, maybe I could do the next thing.
Yeah.
And then what you'll end up doing is having the best day in business ever.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, oh, well, I never want to take a break again, because it's like when you go to the gym, because I've been on a huge weight loss journey. When I don't want to go to the gym, I still go. And then when I walk out, I feel
suddenly
like
you're doing everything. Yeah.
And it's the same with my business. I'm like, just do the call. Just jump on your stories. Doesn't matter how you feel or what you look like, because then you don't know who needs to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. That was literally me this morning. I was booked in for a 6:30 gym class. My alarm went off at 5:30 and I kind of felt like a scratchy throat and that heavy head. And I had two options: roll over and go back to sleep, or just get up, go to the gym, sweat it out, knowing that it would make me feel so much better. And I have a big day today with podcast interviews. I've got a coaching call tonight. And I knew that if I just laid in bed, it would have propelled into all of those interviews and the coaching call tonight. Whereas I got up, went to the gym, had my vitamins, did whatever, and now I feel fine.
And then she would have dragged through the day.
100%.
For the week.
Yeah, literally. And now, and then I come home, had my shower. I was like all excited for the podcast interviews, and we're off to the spa this afternoon. And then I've got a coaching call, and now I'm like ready for that. So it's just that decision in those moments to choose who you want to be for the rest of the day, and also into your business.
Literally, the easiest thing in the world is to not do the thing, and also the easiest thing in the world to do is quit. And if you continue to keep ruling your business activity by emotion and your life decisions, then you'll end up having no confidence, and you'll just get disheartened and you'll just quit. And it's the same with anything. Like, you have to do the little things because they'll add up to the big things.
Which 100%. Speaking of doing the big things, you have really positioned yourself as a leader, not just within your immediate team, within your network marketing business, but you're really taking the stage to be a thought leader within the network marketing industry as a whole. I would love to know your advice for positioning yourself as a leader and really stepping into that authoritative figure online, but also in your industry.
Well, the funny thing is, I never thought of myself as a leader when I came into this business. I didn't even know what network marketing was when I signed up. I honestly didn't. I was sold a vision, and I could see women like myself who were doing the thing I wanted to do, and I was like, okay, let's just try.
I'll learn later.
Well, yeah, I was like, I don't need to know everything just to start. And it was $99. Like, what is that? It's not even getting your nails done.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's just see what happens. And every day I said that to myself, let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. One more. And then you end up 3 years later and you love what you do. But positioning yourself as a leader, you have to lead yourself first. You have to not show up as other people. I think for me, I really had to look outside of so in network marketing, you have a mentor who's who you join your business with. I'm partnered with Arbonne, so my mentor is actually one of the top, well, she is the top income earner in the country. So she's a good one. But we're very different in how we lead. And so I had to find my own voice. And I found that through finding mentors outside of her. She was incredible. She gave me so much, and she still does to this day. But I went outside of her and did a lot of personal. I actually never paid a mentor before, but I got one here.
I was going to say, now you work with one.
No,
so
I work in close proximity to one, and you can definitely see the value. But I found my own mentors, people that weren't in my life, but online, and a lot of them were in the US. A lot in the US. Some of them had even passed, but what they left behind in their legacy was a lot of leadership skills for me to gain. And I just slowly found myself getting a little bit more ballsy, a little bit more risky, a little bit more confident. And I started to really challenge a lot of the stigma, a lot of the misconceptions. I'd have a lot of conversations daily where people would be like, I'm just so tired, I don't have enough time. And then what do? I jump on my stories and let's talk about it. Because what we're going back to before, you can't have excuses and money. You can only have one or the other. And all I hear every single day is probably 100 excuses, 100 of the same excuses. And so what I did was I jumped online, and every conversation I'd have is I'd talk about it, because I knew for that one excuse, there's probably 100 people who had it lined up ready to go in the firing line.
Yeah.
And I just kept doing that and doing that and doing that. And I realized that there was no one in Australia, in my company, or really in network marketing, that was talking about this. And it's still every day I think about it, there's no one really educating people on this vehicle to entrepreneurship. It's a vehicle. It's different to other vehicles. There's nothing that's perfect, but to me personally, I will stand by it. It's just better. Like, I just think that, and I think you should do whatever makes you happy. But I want women, it's particularly women. We love men, but not in my
I was going to say, do you?
Yeah, I'm like, do you want to go to that? We can.
That is a whole other episode.
Coming soon. We can talk about that. But no, we love men. They serve a purpose. But not in my team. I very much want only women in my team, unless the occasional husband joins. And I just want women to realize how this works, at the very least, understand it. So then they can make an aligned decision of if this could be for them, whether it's now or in the future. They don't know in 10 years what's going to happen. Divorce, death, job loss. Maybe they fully have a breakdown like I did early on in life, and they realize they're not where they want to be and they need to change it. So I want to be that lighthouse for so many women who feel so lost. And I don't think anyone's doing it in Australia.
Yeah. And you've done that so well, stepped into this identity where you are bold and you are saying things that others are thinking, but they're too afraid to actually say. And let's talk to that, because they are some of the skills of a true leader. It's the ability to create polarizing content, marketing. It's the ability to create polarity. So yes, you're going to magnetize people, but in order to magnetize, you've also got to repel. And that scares a lot of people to step into that role, knowing that they're going to piss some people off, and people will come out of the woodworks and have some shitty things to say. And the unfortunate truth is, so many born to be leaders are focusing on that more than they're focusing on those who they are magnetizing in. So it's actually easier to dilute your message, be quiet, stay small, and please everybody. But that's not the skills of a leader, right? So I'd love for you to talk about how you have stepped into a role where you confidently can show up and polarize online and say the things that you know will piss people off. Have there been moments where you didn't do that and you had to work through, you had to gain a muscle in order to be that person? Talk to us about the ability to show up confidently and say what you want to say, knowing it is going to piss people off.
I think it was always in the back of my head, but I kept my mouth shut because the industry I came from, there's nothing wrong with it, but I was very much taught to be seen and not heard. And I think that kind of bled through into starting this business. Like, I started to do that at the beginning. And so what I did was the opposite. I just copied and duplicated what I saw other people doing, and it wasn't true to me. And so, of course, no one was going to resonate with it. They might view it, but they're not going to message, they're not going to comment, they're not going to apply, they're not going to ask questions, because they're like, I just saw 10,000 other people say the exact same thing. And in a time where I feel like when I started network marketing, it was just starting, but I feel like it's very noisy now. I'd say even in the coaching industry, it's very noisy. everyone's doing similar stuff. It's copy and paste AI. And I think for me, I had to kind of take a step back and be like, okay, like, what do you actually believe in? What do you actually want to say if no one can tell you you can't say it? And what's the worst that happens if you do? And so I just started, not even slowly, I think I just balls to the wall. One day woke up and I just started talking on my stories. And then I started making reels and then TikToks and going live. I'm actually blocked from going live now,
which we're going to talk about.
But what I found was then women who needed to hear what I had to say would hear what they needed from it, and they would resonate, and they would message me and be like, everything you said, I just resonate with so much. I'm like, well, thank God I didn't stay quiet, because I never would have grown a business.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people think that they have to be like the people who are successful. Like, they think, maybe they listen to this and they think, I have to do what Chloe does. No, you have to just speak what comes to your mind. And I think a lot of the time we push those thoughts aside. And it's just like, no, if you think something's not right, or you don't agree with something, or you think it should be done, it could be done better, like, you should say it. And I think that that's what's needed for an industry to grow and be seen in a better light. And obviously network marketing, you're either for it or you're not, or you don't bloody understand it. And I think if you're not for it, you just don't understand it. So it's a delicate one, but you have to just speak your truth. And for me, every thought I have, I usually say, and it served me well.
Have you always been like that?
My mum would say as a kid I did. And I think as I got older, through traumatic experiences in life, as we all have them, we all have our own things, I got quieter and quieter. And I think maybe like 16 to 22 were my quietest years.
Would you say it was the personal development then you then did on yourself in order to go from that quieter, in your shell version of you to the version you are today, which is obviously who you've always been, but as a result of the traumatic events that you've gone through, which is usually the reason why people aren't speaking up and using their voice, because something has happened the last time they did that. Yeah, what have you had to do between the shell version of you and then the version you are today to be able to be there? Was it just a matter of waking up one day and going, fuck it, I'm getting online, I'm saying what I want to say? Or was there a moment?
It was a bit of both. Honestly, it was both. Like, I did wake up one day and just say, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, that did happen. And I know people don't want to hear that, because they want to be like, no, like, give me the blueprint.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, turn to yourself in the mirror and say, am I living for me, or am I living for other people? That's literally all it is. And you slowly just start getting a bit more bold the more you just do things that scare you. But I did do a lot of self-development. Like, I read and I listen to podcasts and I journal and I meditate and I do breath work and I have hard conversations daily. I don't hold back. And I think it was a mixture of waking up one day and saying fuck it, and then doing the self-development daily. But it also was the proximity to people who were great. I'm so lucky to be surrounded by entrepreneurial women who are very bold in different ways. We're very different, but we all own who we are. And I didn't do that when I first came in. I actually met you in a time where I was quiet.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago next month, I met Jess in an elevator and I didn't say a word.
No, don't. I remember I didn't even remember you in the lift with me. That's how quiet and off to the side you were, which is wild to think that's the Chloe I know today. Like, if a random got into a lift with you today, you would be chatting to them, chatting with them the whole way up the floors.
Are you happy?
Yeah, like that's just, it's wild to think that was you. So that's what I love about your story though. You haven't always, like you mentioned, you were like this when you were little, which most women do have this in them from childhood, but something has happened along the way, as we've spoken about. And you have experienced that, like you actually experienced something that made you shrink and be small. I've seen it, but then now you are this version. So it's proof that you can become these leaders. You can possess the skills of a true leader if you put the work into yourself and actually do what it takes to be within that authoritative identity.
And it happens quicker than you think. Like, I actually cut off a lot of people overnight. Like, I just unfollowed them and didn't answer any messages. I kind of went ghost. And I only spoke to my mentor. And that's pretty much it. And then I started to grow a team, and now all I talk to is less than 5 people, because I'm protective of my energy. And it has been the best thing I've ever done in my life. Like, boundaries and proximity are the two things that made me get louder. And I actually just come out of our national conference, and the one word I wrote down, so people had notes and notes, and they filled up notepads with notes. I had one page, and the word that I circled and underlined in the middle was just louder. Just get louder, because no one knows what we're doing here. No one knows what it could be. No one understands it. You've got to get louder, and that's what we're doing right now.
I love this so much. Okay, now let's assume that we have a lot of leaders, born to be leaders, listening to us right now, and they have so many ideas bubbling up in the surface, bubbling within the surface. They know what they would love to say, but of course, then the fear comes on, the fear of judgment, the fear of being found out, the fear of being called a fraud, the fear of backlash, which you have experienced firsthand, the backlash that everyone is scared to face. You're in the thick of it. Now, I don't know how much of this story you were allowed to share, only share as much as you feel comfortable to share and that you are legally allowed to share. Yeah, but I would love to go there if we can, because now we're going to really, what's the word, smash it on the head. Like, these fears, yes, they exist, and yes, they can play out, and Chloe is actually experiencing one of those fears. However, she's still sitting in the room with me today. She has not died from this. Like, she is actually okay. So what's the bad side to being bold and being seen, and share as much of that story as you can?
Well, what's the saying? Like, you could be the juiciest bitch in the world, but no one's gonna like peaches. I think I'm pretty juicy.
I love that.
Everyone really has heard that before, but I think what I always heard this saying, because I've come from an industry where this happens a lot, and my family had a business growing up, and I was always told that once you get sued, you know you're doing well. And I never thought I'd be in that position.
What is a fear for some was actually on the vision board for Chloe.
Well, yeah.
Get sued. You're like, perfect. I'm like imagining like this being a scary thing for you, and that's the angle I was taking. You're like, no, I'm over here cheering.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
I love this.
We go to the spa. We celebrate.
We are celebrating this.
I actually, there's something in the background going on right now, but in reality, you're doing well when people are questioning what you're saying and they're throwing in their 2 cents. And for the last 3 years, it's usually men that have their 2 cents, and lately it's been women,
which shits me so much.
Yes.
Give me the fucking loser men any day, but when a woman does it, it really pisses me off.
Well, I'm not even like, obviously it's annoying, but the thing is, like, I'll root for any woman. I don't care what industry she's in. I don't care what she's doing. She could be doing OnlyFans. She could be doing coaching. She could be a lawyer. I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as she's happy and it doesn't hurt anyone else. And for me, now dealing with my own gender, I just know it's only a projection and a reflection of themselves. And it makes me sad, because I used to be the kind of person, not I wouldn't sue anyone, but just a negative person and just a very unhappy person, and would look at people and be like, she's just like you, or she comes from money. You know, all those things that when you haven't worked on your money mindset and you haven't worked on yourself, you start to think, and it's just because you're unhappy. So I think any negatives that come are far outweighed by all the positives. And I think I wake up every day and I literally jump out of bed. And I used to like drag myself out of bed. I was so overweight, I literally couldn't breathe walking to the fridge, and that's all I walked to. Only got out of bed for the fridge and work. We need to set up before.
I know. I was about to say, why am I seeing a visual right now of you doing this?
Ordering Gemelli's.
Yum.
Yeah, I was. They actually knew me by name. And it was like, if you've ever ordered Uber Eats, it's like you just repeat order, like your last order.
Yeah. They make it so easy, don't they?
Yeah, like, Tommy's back again. They'd like write a little note.
Oh, that's funny.
Get them afloat. But yeah, like I know what it's like to not like your life, and so anyone who hates them, I wish I could, like, what I've had in the past, message them and been like, you know, if you actually want to understand this industry, like, I would love to have a conversation. If you don't, that's totally fine. Like, but every time I just want to like sit down with that person. Like, you know what my great idea was? You know how you have those like debates where a person sits on a chair. You can cut this out if you want, not to be controversial, but you know that Charlie Kirk?
I was just about to say, we know someone who's recently done that. They got shot for it, which is how fucked up the world is.
But I had a great idea. You might be like, it's
going to be the new Charlie Kirk.
No. But I would love to get an arena full, sit on a chair with my fizz and a microphone, and put a stand up there and be like, get up here and talk to me.
Oh my God, I could see you doing this.
Love to hear people's thoughts and opinions and have an open conversation, because I just think there's too many people. And obviously, there's going to be people that would get up and be like, so negative and so hateful. And I'm like, bring it on any day, because I am you. Well, I was you. And I just think people just don't talk enough because they're scared of, what if she doesn't like me? What if I say the wrong thing? You can't say the wrong thing to the right people. Like, yeah. And I think, what if I change one person's mind?
Yeah.
What if, like, I think it's a great idea. I may do it.
Yeah, okay. Look, I actually think I like this idea and I could totally see this unfolding.
I just don't want anything to happen.
But you never know. But anyways, I could fully see you doing this. Okay, so yeah, you've gone through some kind of legal situation where it's resulted in you getting banned from Instagram. Apple, you can't send text messages to people.
We've got it back now, but there's certain features on certain platforms. I get reported every day for, I'll do a reel on an outfit and I'll get reported for racism.
What the hell?
And I'm saying it's okay, because one door closes, I'll just find another way to speak to people, because I think if you didn't love what you were doing, you'd probably give up. But I love what I do and I believe in it to my core. Like, I'll do this till the day I die. I'll be the 80-year-old that looks 20 and everyone's like, how'd you do it?
Yeah. Oh my God, I love this so much. But yeah, so essentially what we're saying here is you have actually experienced some of the biggest fears that are holding women back, and you're sitting here today and you are actually okay. And yeah, like you've looked for the positives in this and it's pumped your tires up because you're being noticed, which is what we want when you are a thought leader in what you do. When you are leading a movement, this is what can happen. But what I'm trying to get at is, if you do fear judgment, being found out, someone reporting you as racist and blocking your number and blocking Instagram live, who actually cares? Like, as Chloe has just shared, you'll find another way. You can look for the positives in it. But along the way, you have just inspired someone, or you have just changed someone's mind, or yeah, you've opened up their mind. You've literally changed someone's life.
What if they go start another business? It doesn't have to be what you do. What if they start a business hating on your industry? Good for them. You know, like, there's space for that if they want to do that. But I think fear is an addiction, and more of the population every day are addicted to it. Yeah. And I even spoke about this in my speech at the conference, but I said we can actively remove that fear of judgment, fear of failure, whatever fear you have, by just understanding that the only way you don't get to where you want to be in life, in business, is if you quit, because it's what people want. People want to see you give up. They want to see you go quiet. And I've been told my whole life to be quiet. My mum used to play that game in the car where she'd be like, I'll give you $1 if you don't talk for 5 minutes. I never got the $1.
Damn.
And you know, in meetings, like, I'd put my hand up and no one would, you know, you're a woman in that industry.
Yeah, like, we don't care about what you have to say.
Yeah. Yes, Chloe. Do you want to get coffee for us?
Yeah.
But yeah, and also understanding that if you're doing enough, the results will show. And I know we talk about, like, is doing more best, but I just think, like, the right things, more of the right things.
Yeah, 100%. Well, here's some homework for everybody, and this is an exercise I take my clients through, a simple debunking exercise. And what Chloe has just walked us through is there's always a positive thing that comes from your worst fears. So yes, there is a fear and there's a bad case scenario and it's terrible and oh my God, I really don't want to experience that. But there's also a positive outcome that will come from this fear that you have. Let's explore that. Let's go there and let's get your brain wired to look at the good things that would come from the fear once you are over that edge, because now you're going to be excited about the possibility of the incredible change, not so fixated on the worst case scenario that is less likely to happen than the best case scenario anyway.
We always make the thing feel scarier than it really is on the other side.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's that whole, like, wolf and puppy analogy, you know that one? Where, like, you're standing on one side of the door's closed, and on the other side you think it's like this big scary wolf, and then you open the door and it's just a little puppy. And that's been every single scary thing I've done in my business. Like, I think I've been through harder things in every other area of my life. Business is simple. It's not easy, but it is simple. I was about to say something when you were speaking, something popped in my brain. It'll come back to me. Can you repeat what you said?
I was saying there's a positive to the fears that
You'll get hella confident when you do scary
yeah.
things. You'll build a confidence that's unshakable, and it's actually scary how much you will know yourself and love yourself and speak with conviction. Like, I didn't like myself. I didn't love myself. I didn't even like my voice. You know how some people hear their voice and they're like, oh, turn it off.
Yeah.
I'm like, turn it up. Turn it up. This is my song.
I love this.
Like, I watched my own speech back 3 times already.
I always do that. Always watch my stories back. Yeah, I just listen to my voice.
But I think honestly, like, that would come from doing all those things daily that people put off. And then they wonder why they're so negative and hateful and scared and hold back. And then you're going to get to some day in your life where you're like, shit, maybe I shouldn't have waited for some day. Maybe I should have done the stuff that Jess does every day and recommends, or maybe I should have listened to that controversial spicy girl on Jess's podcast and just maybe did the scary thing, because they've got something that clearly you're listening to gain.
And that's so true. We've just established there are positive outcomes that would come by you being more bold and really showing up as a leader. And we've made it about other people. That is, you inspire people, you activate them, you change their perspective, their mind, their life. But there's also so much attached to you, like the positive outcomes you're going to experience within yourself. That, as you've mentioned, there is no greater feeling than stepping into an area within your life or just doing something that was so uncomfortable and just doing it anyway. The feeling of fulfillment after you step off that edge and you just do the damn thing is like something you cannot describe.
It's addicting.
Yeah.
And I would rather have that addiction than fear.
100%.
Like, it's not sexy.
No.
And as women, we want to feel sexy. We want to feel desirable. We want to feel powerful. And like, I'm very much single, but if you have a partner, imagine like being like, guess what I did today?
Yeah.
And then being like, I just made this amount. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I was a man, I'd be like, oh, come here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think like you have so much to gain in yourself, but also in what you'll attract.
Yeah.
Not just in your bank account, but in relationships, in everything will blossom and grow.
Yeah. And if you think back to every time in your past where you've done something that was uncomfortable in the moment, you have actually experienced this sense of fulfillment that we're talking about. There has been something in your past that was once scary and you went and did the thing and then you dropped into this sensation of like, I'm so proud of myself. So just remembering those moments and then applying that same thing to whatever you want to do in your business or within the online space. And as you've mentioned, chase that feeling more than you are chasing this addiction to struggle and that feeling of letting yourself down and things like that.
Ooh, can I give an exercise?
Yep, go for it.
Because I was reflecting on when I started becoming this kind of version of me. It actually started before network marketing, very early before. But write down all the things that you're scared of, make a list, and then circle the one that's the most scary and go do it that day. So my biggest fear is to be heights, and so I booked, and also like being alone. And so I booked a 2-week solo trip to New Zealand in 2021 over New Year's, camping. I don't camp. I was sleeping on
Wait, by yourself?
Yeah, in a teepee. There was no bathroom. Anyway.
Oh.
Yes, but it gets good.
Yeah.
So my biggest fear is camping and heights and traveling alone. Anyway, so I book this flight alone. I go there. I'm camping. I'm sleeping on the ground. Great time. And New Year's Day, just before COVID. Well, I don't know what year that was, but it was just before COVID. I book the highest bungee in the Southern Hemisphere. I get up 5 a.m., go out, go on the little cart out into the middle of the bloody mountains, and they do a countdown like 5, 4, or 10, 9. I jumped on like 7. I ran and jumped.
You're like, I'm here for one thing and I'm doing the damn thing.
And you know what? I felt no fear. I ran like I was in a marathon, like off that edge. I've got to find the clip. And I jumped and I did scream, but I didn't feel fear in the moment. And once I got back up there, I was considering doing it again. But I think that was the start of me realizing I had this addiction to doing silly shit that pays off, because the confidence I got from that moment, I actually talked about it at my last conference on stage. That was like one of those big pivotal moments in my life.
Yeah.
And I did the scariest thing on my to-do list. I did it kind of all in one day, actually.
I love that, creating a list of your biggest fears
And
and
circle
doing the biggest one.
first.
And you really did it, like booking a solo trip to New Zealand to camp and then going bungee jumping.
Yeah, and I think if I think back, like the universe or God, whatever you believe in, works in mysterious ways, because then we got shut down, the whole world shut down a few months later, like 3 months, 2 months later.
Yeah.
And then I really had so many things happen, like we all did in that time. And then I come out the other side and I started a network marketing business.
Yeah.
Didn't
The
even know it
butterfly
existed.
effect. The butterfly effect. It's wild. Okay, well, what we are all learning is you are an incredible woman who is a true leader, but it didn't come overnight. And you have really had to work on yourself, your confidence, and your ability to be comfortable being uncomfortable. I want to move through now to duplicating yourself, because whether you are in network marketing or you are running a business with a team, at some point in your business, you will need to delegate and you will need to rely on staff or team members to perform a task. Tell me how you are now approaching that, making multiple versions of yourself to assist with the movement and the growth of your brand, which essentially you have.
I think it's one of the biggest struggles I had, and I think a lot of people have when they become more than a team of me, myself, and I. And I actually, because in what I do, team building is a huge part. And early on, I started doing it because I saw the vision from day one. So I was like, people need to know about this. But then I struggled because I realized everyone is so different and everyone has different whys and stories and struggles. And it's come with time to realize how to help somebody grow when they're nothing like you. And I think, you know how we talk about the communication is like the biggest thing in life, like it's the biggest skill. I've actually learned to listen more than I speak when it comes to building a team and scaling people, like just really hearing them. And I heard something on the weekend, it's like reassuring somebody isn't the same as listening to them. Like, I understand, it's okay. Like, what are we going to do about it? You know, I'm such a, like a let's move forward kind of person. So I used to be like, 5-minute pity party, let's move on. I wouldn't respond to that sometimes. And I think it's like, I'm very tough love because I respond to tough love. But I think you have to, it doesn't matter what business you're in, you have to like get people talking about where they want to be and really painting that vision and that picture and reinforcing it daily, because it's a daily decision. Like them starting a business or joining your business or joining your team is a decision, but then they have to recommit to it every day. And most people won't, or they'll commit to it for a season and then I don't know what happens, then they fell off the face of the earth. For me, I had to almost put myself in their vision and be like, okay, like if I wanted this, what would I do? And I grow really independent leader. So I'm like, this is what I would recommend you go do. What do you want to do about this? And I work really closely with my team. So we do weekly calls, we do manager calls fortnightly, we do a lot of in-person bonding because I want them to feel seen and heard in a really big team. So I'll get my leaders, when you promote in our business, I'll get you like running the training calls. I'll get make sure you get on live straight away. I make my team do the scary thing first. Like launch your business, have an event, jump on your stories and talk, let everyone know you have a business. And that terrifies people. But I'm like, if you don't do it in your first week, if you don't do it straight away in your business, you're going to keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And you know what? You'll never be a leader because no one else sees you leading yourself. But also no one's going to buy from you because they don't believe in you, because you don't believe in yourself. Like I feel like I'm rambling, but I put myself in their shoes and I ask them to recommit daily, and I actually force them to be a leader. Like give them a love push, like off the edge of the bungee.
Yeah. So do you expect them to be a duplication of
No.
you, or what you're saying is you look for their strengths, their strengths, their personality, what they can bring to the table in their own right?
I can't be you and you can't be me. You wouldn't get the same results and I wouldn't get the same results. Like if I went and started a coaching business, it wouldn't look the same. I could try, and if I duplicated you, I still wouldn't get the same results. So for my girls, like I have moms, I have 19-year-olds, I have people studying, I have people who have businesses, people on fertility journeys. That's a whole different ball game. When hormones and emotions really come into the game, and I have to kind of meet them where they're at and be like, what's going to work for you in this season. Like, this is your vision. Let me be real about what it's going to take, because I'll be real with you. I'll tell you the truth. But what you do with that is up to you. So they have, and I think them being authentic is the hardest thing ever. But I think when I be authentic, it helps them to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I go first always. And the funny thing is, every time I've had a goal, which I always have a goal, if I run, they're like, no, I'm coming with you. Because I've built this sense of they all feel seen, they all have a moment to be heard, which I never had that, obviously, in my old industry. So now I always give them the spotlight. I always try to make everyone feel included. And I just have the best team, Jess. Like, I literally have, and I say this, and I don't feel like silly saying it, the best team in Arbonne, Australia right now.
I love that.
Like, you should have seen them at the conference. They had a dance circle going. They were in there busting a move, every single one of them. I don't know what other people were doing, but we were having a ball. They all went home with this fire in their soul, and the messages I've gotten and the actions they've taken, they all just turned around to me and been like, I saw the vision, but now I really feel it. I really, really feel it. And you need to make people feel it, which is hard. Definitely duplication is hard. It is hard. But when you go first, I think people follow. And I did say in my speech, I think when we lead with like authenticity, value, and intention, we'll naturally will align with the right people. But when I didn't do that, they were nowhere to be seen. I don't know where they were.
That is so true. If you are embodying what you expect of other people, whether it is clients, team members, or staff members, you will attract those who see themselves within that identity already, and then you just have to amplify what's already within them.
You've had that experience.
Yeah. Yes. What I was just going to say before I lose this thought, you were saying there that you really look to their strengths and you amplify their strengths and you look to what they're already good at and you make them see that. I had the idea the other day, and I think this would be so incredible. Have you had a either human design reading or soul contract reading?
Not soul contract, human design, yes, generator.
You're a generator?
Yeah, I wish it was more spicy.
I'm a manifesting generator, by the way.
Reflector.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson one.
What is that?
The one that's very rare. I want that one. Can you change?
Yeah, what is there? Projector, reflector.
Manifesting generator.
Manifesting generator, which is what I am.
You got manifested generator, reflector, manifesting generator, and then
projector.
Oh yeah.
Projector.
Sorry,
yeah. Anyways, what I want to do in probably her empire, because that's my more intimate setting, is have everyone go and do a human design reading if they haven't had one already, and their soul contract. Give me that information so that I can then coach them according to their human design and their soul contract. Because as you've just mentioned, not everyone will receive things a certain way, or not everyone will want to participate in a certain way to grow your business. But it's not to say that they are a dud. There's just another way that feels better for them, whether it's a style of work or communication or the way they show up. Like maybe they are more like all like balls to the walls, is what you used before, and then they need a bit of a break, which is actually a manifesting generated trait. We throw our absolute all into projects and we're just go, but then we need a minute to retreat and come back and hibernate and like recenter ourselves, and then we go again. So I think it would be such a powerful thing to bring into like my world, but I'm sure also yours, where you're starting to understand people more so that you can actually work with them, not against them, and just bring out the magic that's already within them.
Any business in the world is just people, and the better you can understand people and give them a spotlight and help them feel seen and heard, you're going to grow your business.
Yeah.
I do something very simple, just because I have so many of them, so it's quicker to do this than that. But I might get them to do that. I get them all to write down how they want to be perceived, and then I get them to write down, they do that, they don't know what's coming, and then they have to write down how they think they're being perceived when they go look at their profiles and however their marketing results, their websites, whatever. And it's funny, they're never ever completely the same, because they're being swayed by what they're seeing online or comparisons. And I'm like, okay, well, you're not being your authentic self fully, and so you're not going to attract the people who need to hear what you need to say, what you have to say. And so then they go, okay, like I need to change this. And I said to them, I was like, okay, I want you to like close your eyes and for a minute think of me. My favorite thing. I'm like, close your eyes and think of me, and give me the first word you think of when you think of me. And they all wrote down a word in the chat or in their notebooks. And you know what's so funny? I said, that's exactly how I want you to see me. I have literally curated the kind of version of me I want people to perceive me as, and it's 100% in line with my core values. And I think how you that so then they do that, and then I say to them, like, okay, what are your values? And then your values should align with how you want to be perceived and how you actually are being perceived. And if there is a what's the word, like a misalignment there, like if things aren't lining up, that's why you're not growing. That's why you're not getting results. That's why you're not attracting your dream teams. Why you're not getting sales. And for me, it's like connect the dots. They literally all line up. I'm exactly who I say I am.
Yeah, I love this so much. And a lot of the reason why women can't do that is because, as you've mentioned, they are so bombarded with the way other people are showing up online. And one of the first things I get all of my clients to do is mute and unfollow anyone in their industry or anyone who would sway their creativity and who they are online. Because again, so many women come into my world, and I know also yours, who are incredible. They have so many unique ideas. They have the personality that could make them millions. They have this inner compass that would guide them to a life so incredible, but they're not listening to the inner compass enough. They are just looking at the reels and the feed, and they're checking to see what everybody else is doing. Yeah. Yeah. And then the moment that inner compass or that inner idea isn't confirmed outside of them, they assume it's a bad idea and they don't run with it.
They question it.
Yeah, but that idea is the $1 million idea. It's what's going to take their business to the next level. It's what's going to make them stand out as a leader. But again, they're looking around to see if anyone else is doing it. So yeah, I love that task. I've done it in my own business, and I recommend everyone do it. Just mute, unfollow, until you feel like you are the only person in your industry. That's where I'm at. When I'm online, I feel like I'm the only business mindset coach in the entire world, because I do not see anyone else on my Instagram doing what I do. And it's allowed me to thrive and really step into the person that you see online and that I am, and just stay on my own lane, stay in my own lane.
Emma's my mentor, Emma Fell, her dad, Andy, he has something he calls Mozart time. It's part of his daily routine, quiet.
Yes.
Maybe you meditate, maybe you do breath work, maybe you go on a walk, maybe you sit in the car and get away from the kids, whatever it is. I know my team do that sometimes. And it's just silent. My life is so quiet and so boring, and I love it because it gives me space to be loud. And I think, like you said, people can't hear themselves and what they really want. They start to question it because they can't hear it because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
But I think, like, if it's even there, what is Izzy call it, a niggle, or maybe that came from you.
Yeah.
But a nudge, a stirring inside. If it's there, it's there for a reason.
And you need to listen to it.
Don't question it.
Yeah.
Get quiet.
Yeah.
And then get loud.
Yeah. I love that. And I do create those moments in my day. And I recommend go for a walk, but don't listen to a podcast. Don't listen to music, or have your morning coffee out in the sun, but don't read a book. Don't have anything going. Just be in your presence and just listen. And often someone will say, like, okay, I'll create the space to go in and listen to my inner guidance, but then what do I need to do? Like, that's the whole point. Nothing. You just need to sit in stillness and spaciousness, and you will be surprised the amount of ideas that flood your mind. And this is the thing, so many women don't understand. Every single woman on this planet is so creative. It's the feminine. We are born creatives. If you have a creative block, it's not because you aren't a creative person, it's because you've blocked yourself from being creative. And we live in a world where that is going to happen unless you stop it, unless you turn it off. So yeah, just creating space in your day and just being in silence is one of the most powerful things you can do for your business, but I've experienced it firsthand. It's where I get all my ideas for content. I write my best speeches in the shower.
Oh, I do it with a candle in dark.
Yeah, I love that. But in the shower, it's so weird. As soon as I'm in the shower, I'll write a whole speech, and I got to get out and quickly write it down. I should. Yeah. What are you doing? Why are you talking to yourself in the shower? Like, you wouldn't be surprised. It's another thing.
Oh, we need that as women.
Yeah.
100%. It's so surprised. No, I'm not surprised anymore. But when I first started, like when somebody joins my business, we get on a call, and the first thing we do is define their why. I can't even tell you how many people don't know what it is because they've never been asked, probably. but also they've never had the space to really know it. And you know what? It'll change once they come into the business and they start to really get to know themselves. But at the start, so many people can't even tell me like 1 or 2 goals. They don't do. Too many people don't do vision boards, yearly goals. I just can't believe it. And I'm like, I'm about to change your whole world. Like in 12 months, you won't know. No one will recognize you.
Yeah.
And not because we're going to get a facelift or anything, but basically your life's going to get one.
Yeah. Yeah. It genuinely makes me sad that there are women out there so consumed by the way society and social media wants us to run our life, and they are missing out on so much magic that is within themselves and that could be created. And at the end of the day, we've got to prioritize ourselves. Like, yes, there's action, and yes, there is time for research and consumption and, looking to see what's happening, but you've always got to make space for your own ideas and yourself. And it doesn't need to look like a 2-hour meditation every morning with incense burning in your bedroom.
And the fire alarm's going on. Unless you want the firefighters at your door.
It can look like in the shower when you're in there, don't listen to music, or don't have your husband in the bathroom talking about his day. Like, yeah, just go in there. I'm like, okay, shower time, because we all shower every day. And this is perfect for those who are listening to this saying, oh, you guys don't have kids. You don't know what it's like. I know, and I can imagine it's so chaotic, but you do have showers. You go to the toilet.
You drive your car.
You drive your car. You lay in bed for at least 5 minutes before you drift off to bed. I'm sure within there somewhere you can find just a moment to yourself in your day where you can open up that creative portal and let that higher intelligence flood your mind and energy, and then ripple effect out into your business.
Definitely, I'm not going to go into this too much because it'll be a whole other hour, but it definitely comes back to like society and like you literally go to school and it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Okay, then you go to high school and it's like, okay, take your exams, now go to uni. What do you want to study at uni? And then you get a job and it's like, build your way up in the career. When do you have time to actually know what you want? You don't. I didn't go to uni and I actually went into a 7-day-a-week work, and that in itself was like going to uni.
Yeah.
Never space.
I was 23. Yeah, I was 23 when I finally stopped and asked, what do I actually want my life to look like?
I was 20.
Which is wild. I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. I thought I wanted to climb the corporate ladder, but I only thought that because that was the mold that I was put into. That was the programming I had from a very young age. So I thought that's what I wanted to, but I literally read a book, and I talk about this book all the time, The Answers. It was one simple question. If you could have any life, what would that look like? And as you've mentioned, no one had ever asked me that question before. In terms of if you could have any life, it's like, wait, we can have any life? Like any life, what would that look like? And then I got to work, and it was so far from what I had created.
And at the start, you're probably going to draw a blank and be like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. I just want to go back and watch Netflix.
I remember thinking, as I was writing it, I was like, work for myself, have complete time freedom where I don't have to be back at work on a Monday. I can jump on a plane and go home and see my family. And as I was writing this, it felt like way too good to be true. And I remember just thinking, oh, like, wouldn't that be nice? Now I'm literally living that exact thing I journaled about. So yeah, I think it's normal when you ask that question to almost have this feeling of, oh, that would be nice. Just keep journaling and just keep believing and keep following the breadcrumbs, because it will come to life one day.
Well, I like that, the riffing. I've told you about that.
Yes.
Remember?
Tell the audience.
So like, I always journaled and did breath work, and then I remember hearing somebody talk about, I don't know where it was, I wish I did. Somebody talked about riffing, and it's like, you close your eyes, or you can do it while your eyes are open if you want, and you literally like act like you're in the moment of the thing happening. And so you'll be like, oh my God, I just got a notification. Oh my God, I've got to call Jess because this amount of money just come into my account from my business. And oh my God, I've got to tell Cheryl and Jess and Sarah. And oh my God, okay, I'm going to be walking the stage. And I'm walking the stage, and they're like, National Vice President Chloe Rose. And I'm wearing this beautiful dress, and everyone's like, oh my God, she's so hot. And then I get off stage, and they give me flowers, and they're giving me Tiffany and Co. And then I'm getting in my white convertible Mercedes, and I'm driving down with my top down, and the guys in the car to the left are like, oh my God, she's so hot. And I'm like, I don't even look at you because you don't exist to me. And then like, it's riffing. So you go on and on and on until you're so pumped up that you feel like you can take on the whole entire world. And if you just do it for a few minutes a day, you become the best version of yourself. I literally, like I said, it's actually disgusting how much I love my life. And I convinced myself of it daily for 3 years.
Yeah. And it worked.
It worked.
It worked. Yeah, it worked.
And I believe it, but I'm just saying it worked.
I love that riffing.
It's fun. But do it when you're alone because the people next to you might be like, shit.
Like still going, and this, and that, and this, and that. Oh my God, couple riffing with the power pose that I spoke about in last episode that Tony Robbins talks about. Have you heard about the power pose, the Wonder Woman pose? So if you stand in a power pose or the Wonder Woman pose for just 2 minutes a day, which is like standing up, yeah, hands on your hips or down below, head up, shoulders back, chest high, like just like I'm the boss queen. 2 minutes a day reduces cortisol levels by 18%, increases your chances of taking a risk, which is paramount for a leader, by 33%, and changes your biochemistry by 20%. 2 minutes a day standing in that pose. So imagine if you coupled that pose with the riffing for 2 minutes a day. Holy moly. Holy bloody moly.
Can't wait to get them on the podcast.
Yeah. Literally. So there you go.
I feel like my power pose is like the leg out. You know, did you watch the stage? I always put like one leg out. It's like a little.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know why it makes me feel really feminine when I'm giving a really masculine
speech. Well, yeah, it's like it's so true. Like you could probably create your own power pose, but what we want this pose to do is to change your state. And simply by changing your body, you can change your thoughts, which changes your energy, which changes what you're manifesting in your life. And I will often do this if I'm having a shit day and you're just feeling a bit flat, literally just start smiling. Like, or just put your head up and your shoulders back, and just doing that will suddenly just change how you feel. It's so powerful, the control that we have over ourselves. Well, we have covered a lot. I knew we would. Thank you for coming on the show. Where can people find you if they're obsessed with you, if they want to join your network marketing team? Where are you hanging out?
Instagram, TikTok, at Chloe Rose B. Don't do Chloe, everyone does that. But also, I'm sure they'll see me on your page as well.
Yes. Oh, well, I don't think we spoke about this. Like,
we haven't.
Chloe.
You understand the whole hiring and duplicating.
Well, I can put this in the intro, but Chloe is my incredible everything assistant, social media manager, content creator, about to be podcast editor, production team.
My saving grace.
Literally. My mentor sometimes. She came in here at the start. She's like, right, Jess, where are we at with these further podcast interviews? I'm like, I can't think about it today, glowing. She's like, well, you're going to have to. Jess, you need one day in October. One day, that's it.
Like one day. And also, like, in any woman's business, like in life, like you are going to go through evolutions, and this is just a new one for you. And it feels uncomfortable. It feels overwhelming. It feels unnatural. But then you'll come out the other side and you'll be like, now what's the next? What's the next thing?
Yeah, let's actually have a laugh, because now that we've let Chloe have her moment. And yeah, so Chloe like works within my team. What is one thing that shocked you about working alongside me? Good or bad?
Well, I don't think it's going to be what you want to hear.
No, good or bad?
I just, how like easy it was. Like it was just a simple, oh, I like Jess. I think it makes it easier. No, but like I already knew you. I knew you without knowing you. Like I didn't need to be your best friend to feel your energy. And I love the work you do. And so I knew that it would be meaningful in my life to help you impact other women. So, and what did you say? Like when the other person cares more about your business than you do, that's how you know. Yeah,
and you are that person for sure.
Yeah, I know it's not as spicy as you wish, but it just felt very easy, very flowy. And I think, and if you work for anyone or with anyone, it's getting to know them. And I have worked with lots of different personalities. And so you by far are one of the easiest.
Oh, good. I thought you were going to say you are a little bit unorganized. You are way too last minute.
No, I don't think so. I think you are a visionary, and visionaries usually have a million ideas, and it's how do we bring it to fruition. And I have that own struggle in my own life, so I can relate.
Yeah, which is why you need to get a team as soon as you possibly can, because when you are the founder and the CEO of your business, you're not expected to be all of the hats and good at all the hats. I think the moment you can really start to create a team, it's going to be so incredible for your business, because you start to bring people in who can bring those strengths in that you don't necessarily either have or want to possess. Like I could do more, but I'm like, I'd rather just like bring someone in who's already naturally like that and things like that.
It comes back to creating more space and quiet for you for the things that you need space for right now in this season.
Yeah.
And it's also like such a busy time of year. So
yeah,
I think if you're gonna do something, you need to go all in with it and just gung ho.
Yeah. Yeah.
Balls to the wall.
I love that. It's our phrase from today. Balls to the wall, everybody.
See me on Instagram. Being very ballsy.
Balls to the wall. All right, I'm gonna link the Instagram and the TikTok for Chloe below. If you are interested in joining network marketing, send her a message. It's how I started my brand. It was the vehicle that got me to where I am today, and I do always stand by network marketing. I think it's such a great opportunity for those who do want to get into the entrepreneur space and don't necessarily have a brand that they want to start yet or a product. Like, it's such an incredible way to get into business. All right, Chloe, thanks for coming on. We're off to the spa for the afternoon. The girls are off to the spa.
What's it, a Wednesday? I don't know what day it is.
Wednesday afternoon.
Wednesday at midday.
Off to the spa. Like, what a bloody life. Because we went balls to the wall.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on. And thank you everyone for tuning in. Love you and appreciate you all as always. And I'll talk to you in the next episode.